Yes, a very good evening to all our viewers and welcome to another edition of Evening Review. My name is Philip Joseph and I will be your host for tonight's edition. Joining us this evening is the IUM, which stands for the International University of Management, and I'm joined by the SRC president, that is Rauna Shipalanga. Welcome. Thank you for making the time.
Thank you very much for the invitation.
Yes. Rauna, let's just get straight into things. I mean, you've been in the office for quite some time, but if you can maybe just tell us during your tenure, in terms of the achievements, what your team has accomplished.
Serving as, SRC president, it's a great privilege and also a learning experience. But what I can say has been one of our notable achievements is always addressing the challenges of the students. Student representation, it's really there. We're on campus, we're visible, and we're accessible to the students. So any issues pertaining to the students, we're very quick to table it to management, and we're very fortunate to have, a management with an open door policy. So it's never really on the basis of did you make an appointment or so forth. They're very, very open to receiving us, the student body, and which honestly makes it very easy for us as well. One of the challenges, achievements I can say we've achieved is the decentralization of graduation. Previously, our graduation was only held here in Windhoek, but this year alone, I can't say history has been rewritten, but it has been made. We had a winter convocation in Ongwediva as well.
Okay. Interesting fact that you've mentioned challenges, and I've been a student myself as well, and you often find, I would say, a number of students that always come out with complaints and what so forth. And obviously during the election period, there are probably some promises made. As we speak now, have some of these promises been achieved? Yes, you did mention of a few here, but are some of the students happy with what you guys have done so far?
Yes, I can confidently say that to an extent, we've really tried to keep up with the promises that we the students, student leaders have made. I'd like to give an example of one of my very own promises. When I ran for presidency, what I said during our manifesto was that, I want to see students take up space. Being a first-year student, being a second-year student, I've always, wanted to take up space, not just, outside of campus, but just, even within the structures that are already there on campus. Like I want to be the chairperson of the debate society and so forth. But often, many a times you would see that students really have the potential to lead these societies, but what's holding them back is the fear of the unknown. Like, what if I fail? What if I don't make it? How will my peers perceive me, and so forth? So I made it, for lack of better word, I made it a mission of mine, and I said this during the manifestos, that I would want to create an environment where we just encourage students to take up space. If you feel like you are really into it and you're capable of doing it, don't let that fear, don't let the fear of the unknown stop you from going for it. And currently, as we speak, we're working towards having our leadership workshop, where we just invite students. This is, of course, after exams have concluded now. Early next semester, looking at the first month, to just bring students together, bring renowned leaders together. Of course, I'm also going to speak. I don't have much experience, but I am the SRC president. So, just having leaders come in and talk to the students, inspire and motivate the students to just go for it.
And is this initiative also welcome to campuses outside Windhoek?
Most definitely. I wouldn't just want to limit it to my constituents, which is now the IUM community, but also just individuals who are interested in also attending the workshop. I'm definitely not going to limit it.
Okay. Take me through. I have a very interesting question. I know for a fact that you tend to find different SRCs at the different campuses, right?
Yes.
And you've spoken of manifesto. And obviously the school is also then built based on one foundation, one mission, one goal. And again, prior to elections, everyone is competing to take up the seat of being the SRC president. But do you guys also share the same vision and goals with the SRCs from the campuses outside your constituency now?
Outside my constituency. I can't really say, because sometimes our goals are there to meet the needs of my constituents,
Yes.
for instance now. So in most cases, most likely, because if you look at the issues surrounding students, they're very common. If it's not a student being able to write exams because of financial issues, it's most probably NASFAF. If it's not NASFAF, delaying payments, it's most probably accommodation, and so forth. So to an extent, they might be similar, the goals, but to a certain degree, they might also not be so similar. Because if you look at different institutions of higher learning now, for instance, IUM has a girls' accommodation. Triumphant doesn't. So what I would want to advocate for might be different from their SRC president, because they don't have, while we have, but it's not really open to everyone.
Okay.
Yeah.
And are there perhaps talks in motion in terms of building an accommodation for boys as well? I mean, you spoke now of girls' accommodation, but
Yes.
there's those talks.
I mean, we are advocating for it. We do bring it to the attention of management. I can't confidently say that there's something being done about it, but I can say that, with our management, we're very hopeful.
Okay.
Yeah, we're very hopeful.
Okay. Now, coming to you personally,
Yes.
I mean, obviously you also have a life outside what you do, and have a life outside being the president of the
International
of IUM, basically, in short. Yeah, I don't want to happen to start there, but what made you go into this whole thing to say, look, today I believe I can, and I want to run for being the president of the institution? What got you there? Even prior to you going to the institution itself as a first year student, did you ever envision yourself of becoming the SRC president one day?
No, I didn't actually. Which is why when I look back, I'm just very surprised with how far I've come. I never envisioned it for myself, but I think I always wanted more for myself.
Okay.
When I was first year, I saw people campaigning, and I was very surprised. I was involved as a campaigner. I would campaign for my friends here and there. And I never really thought for myself that, okay, maybe you should do it one day. I didn't.
Yeah.
Until one day I thought to myself, but why not? Okay. Why not? You often encourage people to go for it, but you're holding yourself back. And I think one of the things that really held me back was also the fear of, what if I lose? What will people talk? What will people say about me? And when you lose publicly, it's a bit demoralizing. So I decided to go for it, mainly because I wanted to stand out from my peers. I wanted to grow. I wanted to grow in terms of, my public speaking. I wanted to grow in terms of who I surround myself with, the types of conversations I have, and so forth. So that's mainly what encouraged me to just go for it. And I mean, what do I have to lose?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, again, interesting. I mean, based on what you said there, gets to show that you've decided to take the step to grow out of your shell. But take us through again the election process. I know times like that tend to be intense, because one day you can open your WhatsApp and you just find everyone sending you forms to say, please vote, please vote, please vote. But just take us through that process. How was that for you? I mean, campaigning in front of people, competing against your peers and so forth.
Yes, so it was a bittersweet experience. It was the days, I mean, the highs were really high, and then the lows were really low. So you don't really know the support you have until it comes down to it. I was very scared, especially the day prior the manifestos, because manifestos sort of show you just how much support you have, because of the people in attendance, those are the students, those are the people that are going to vote, and so forth. So fast forward to the day of manifestos, the support was really there, but then the support was also really there for my opponent. So I thought, it's okay, it's going to be the battle of the fittest now. The campaign generally in itself, the election process was really fun. You know, you run around campus, you ask the people, please vote for me. Though some of them would even ask you, why should we vote for you? And you need to cook. You need to tell them that, listen, this is the vision, this is the mission, and with me, you know, this is the campus life you foresee. And even after that, when you go home, you still need to fight on the groups. You need to send your poster, you need to send your memes, and also the content you really need to market. It's a whole process. One would think you're actually applying for a job, because it's really hectic. And I think our campus, in terms of campaign elections, is one of the most active, because even during that period of campaigns, elections, you can just see how vibrant and active the students are, because everyone is running around. You cannot even differentiate between a student and the lecturer, because you are just approaching everyone in that moment. But it was also a bit bitter, because some days you're just discouraged. You think that, oh, man, is this really worth it? And you know, IUM has 3 branches in Windhoek. So you're not just at main campus, you need to commute to Independence campus and also City campus, which are now in town. So it's really heavy. You need to have a strong mind for it, and you need to be prepared for anything. But all in all, it was a really fun experience. Would I do it again? Most definitely. But
okay, again, did that discouragement come from, because I know in cases where people have to come together, let's say the students have to compete on one becoming an SRC representative or one becoming a president, you often find that you tend to compete against people who are influencers outside the elections. You know, that ever come to your mind to say, look, I'm competing against someone who might have a very strong social standing and do I really stand a chance here?
Do I really stand a chance? Yes. I did question myself in that regard, but not really because the opponent had like a strong social standing, but because I just felt like they were a bit more exposed, you know, to the student community. You know, when you're running in a space, many a times it's often people outside, your friends, that see that, look, you can actually get it, rather than the individual in themselves that's actually going for it. So I was very scared, because I felt like I was not as exposed as my opponent. But what really mattered is the work that you actually put in during the campaigns. And one thing I can confidently say is that I worked very hard. I barely slept, and can only thank God the hard work paid off.
Okay, I mean, that's good, what you said there, Rauna. But as for now, we will have to go for a quick ad break, and when we come back, we will take this discussion further. And so our viewers, do not go anywhere, and we'll see you right after the break. Yes, viewers, welcome back. As I've mentioned before, we are still joined by the SRC president of the International University of Management, that is IUM, Rauna Shipalanga.
Shipalanga.
Shipalanga, almost butchered your surname there. Again, if we have to go back to what we've discussed, leadership often comes with good and bad, but in terms of now, the bad, has there ever been at one point where students have come out to say, look, we're not happy with what is happening here. We were told this would happen, but you know, it's an issue that still prolongs. So what's the chat moving forward?
Yeah, So I'm actually I tend to always seek criticism rather than praise. I always want, if someone says something, or maybe, for example, I could say you spoke very well yesterday.
Yes.
I would always ask, okay, but where do you think I can improve on? I'm glad you think that way, but where do you think I can improve on? I like criticism. I wholeheartedly welcome it. But there's a level of criticism that does not really it's not really constructive. It's just there to break you down. That is now criticism I don't really regard. But in terms of now criticism at campus level, and in terms of the students, it's just unfortunate because they don't really know what happens in the boardroom when you're there really fighting for their agenda. And I always tell the students that not I, but then there was an incident where I think this was the first meeting we had with our management. We didn't get what we want, or rather the students didn't really get what they want. And I went back and someone told me, you won't always get what you want, right? But what matters is that you fought for it. It's better to try and fail than not try at all, because then you rest in the comfort of knowing we tried, we fought for it, we just didn't get it. So really, I always try to tell my students that we won't always get what we want, but at least we're going to try and get it. So I think to an extent I make them understand, but you cannot at the same time make everyone understand. Not everyone will see it that way and so forth. But they're not there when you're fighting for certain agendas. They just get the bad news. Listen, guys, this did not succeed. And they would be like, oh, no, you should have tried harder. But we did.
Yeah. Do they give you sleepless nights?
At the beginning, but I'm used to it now.
Okay. I mean, again, if we have to now think nationally, I mean, you always find that at times IUM always tends to be overlooked in terms of, I mean, not only from the academic perspective, but also just, I mean, I know it is privately run, but also just this perception from people outside the institution itself and not understanding what really happens, to say, like, why should I send my kid to IUM? Or the kid themselves are like, no, why should I decide to go to IUM? I mean, what can I gain from there? I mean, can you maybe talk us through what people get wrong? Because, I mean, I've been employed for 3 years now, and I've come across a number of IUM graduates that are doing exceptionally well in their profession. I mean, I've had that privilege to also interview and also just speak to, on and off the record as well, to just some of them. And it seems the school has done extremely well. And, it's at times not a good picture for people to have that mindset and an image towards the institution.
True.
Yeah.
Yes. People will always have an opinion, really, and you'd find that most of these opinions come from people who have never really even been to IUM or been at IUM, schooled at IUM and so forth. But I think, IUM is the biggest private institution in Namibia. So there is a certain stigma around it, which I don't really understand myself, because just like every other institution of higher learning, IUM has requirements, and without you having met those requirements, you cannot be admitted into the institution. So it's really just, I don't know, people with certain agendas that try to, create stigmas around the institution. But one thing I can guarantee is that IUM has produced a number of professionals who are really doing exceptionally well in their various fields of study. I mean, look at me, I'm a product of IUM, and this is how I speak. So I don't really understand the stigma around it. But you find that there are always people that will talk, even about me as an individual, Rauna this, Rauna that. But it's just, what they don't know is that they're actually just helping the institution. They're helping market the institution. So.
Okay. I mean, again, if you look at it, the semester is coming to an end. I mean, some of the other schools or other universities or institutions are busy with exams. I'm sure IUM is about to start with theirs.
Yes.
But if this term does conclude, and I know your team can then decide to come together and then look back at the drawing board. But are there any things you guys plan to achieve come semester 2?
Most definitely. We still have a number of initiatives. Speaking of, we have the Vice Chancellor's Cup that's coming up next month, right after exams have concluded. And we're not just, the Vice Chancellor's Cup is a tournament, not just soccer tournament, but it's inclusive of all the other sport codes as well. We just celebrate our Vice Chancellor and thank him and so forth. And it's not just limited to the IUM student community. We, of course, invite external sports clubs, depending on whatever code they want to do, they can sign up, stall owners as well. Apart from that, we also have our annual cultural festival that's also coming up in August, I believe, and amongst other initiatives. But definitely we want to see what we have done. Obviously, we are going to reflect on the first semester and see where we can do better in second semester. But for now, those are the calendarized activities that we have going on for second semester.
Okay. I mean, also for our viewers back at home, I mean, they just look at Rauna, but they do not know what she does. Maybe can you just tell us, if you are a student yourself, what year you are in?
Yes. So I'm a final year student majoring in geography and history.
Okay. But again, I know I had a friend as well that was an SSC, and they often complained. I don't know if maybe it was based on the fact that they studied accounting, which was a bit tricky and demanding. So they always, I wouldn't say failed, but that pressure always mounted, progressively as the days go by. But how did you then find this balance
between my academics
academic
and leadership?
And leadership role?
I think it's just a matter of prioritizing. I know a lot of people speak about schedules and so forth and so forth. I don't know. I don't really thrive off of a schedule, but it's good to know your timetable. Obviously, my academics first. That's the reason why I'm here. And then after that, everything just flows. Of course, I have my week laid out for me, what are my assignments coming up, and the deadlines and so forth. But I try to meet my deadlines. Like speaking now, I've researched it's due on Friday, so immediately after this, going back to the books.
Okay, but coming down, we have to trickle things down to those below you. I mean, how would they regard you as a leader? I mean, at times you find, I know people like to use this phrase where they say, sometimes power can change you.
Power can change.
But how have they described you as a leader? I mean, are you the one that comes off, irregardless of how people feel, you're telling them, you know what, today I'm not happy with your performance? Or are you the one that often tends to understand what people may been going through maybe, and then maybe often give them a chance? Or are you just the one that, I'm ready to fight for horns blazing?
I'm very calm.
Yeah.
I don't think I've changed actually, but now it's like I have to sort of give credit to myself. But I haven't changed. I smile a lot on campus. I think that's part and parcel of why I won. I'm very friendly. I'm literally the type of person that would greet someone. They would not greet me back, but I understand. They probably didn't see me. I assume they didn't see me. I would not walk past someone on campus now without having greeted them, regardless of who it is, a student, staff member, whatever. My friends even laugh at me sometimes. It's like, she was geskiet, they didn't greet you back. So it's fine. I really don't mind. What matters is that I've greeted them. And of course, I always, people say I'm approachable. I don't know. I think it's because of the smile also. Yeah. But yeah, I'm very, very, very easy to work with. I think that's one of my character traits that really stand out for me. Okay.
Rauna, just before we conclude, to our viewers and also perhaps to some of your peers and students watching from home, aspiring lady like yourself, to those looking up to you and to those coming up, and to those, again, with that perception of IUM not being, what do they say in Afrikaans? Gevaarlijke school. Yeah. I mean, what would be your message of encouragement to those watching?
Yeah.
Or I'd like to say what do they say in the streets now? Word of the day.
Word of the day. Yeah, word of the day is just to be yourself. And also to know your word, read the Bible. I don't know, I don't really miss an opportunity or a chance to talk about God.
Yeah.
But yeah, really just read the word. And there's so much truth to the word, and so much self-discovery and purpose with the word. Now it's very difficult for you to know what you want for yourself if you don't pray or read the word. But then other than that, really, that's what I'd like to say.
I'll say amen to that.
Amen.
But anyways, Rauna, thank you for making the time for joining us this evening. It was definitely a splendid and awesome conversation with you. To our viewers at home, this brings us to the end of our episode today. With me, your host, Philip Joseph, and the team. Good night.